This morning, as the first light of dawn stretched its gentle fingers across the sky, I stepped barefoot into the garden once again. The earth was still cool from the night, holding the secret warmth of yesterday's sun just beneath its surface. The scent of damp soil rose up to greet me, filling my lungs with a rich, grounding aroma that no manufactured perfume could ever replicate. There is a sacredness to these early hours when the world is still half asleep, and only those who choose to rise and walk slowly can witness the quiet miracles unfolding beneath the gaze of a waking sky. Each step through the garden is an act of returning, not just to nature, but to myself. Here, there is no need to rush, no need to impress, no need to achieve anything grand. Here, existence is enough. The plants do not shout to be seen. They do not clamor for attention. They simply grow, patient, steady, persistent. And in their silent perseverance, they teach me lessons no loud classroom ever could. Carrying a small watering can, I move toward the seedling bed where young plants, no taller than a few inches, sway gently in the breeze. Their stems are thin, their roots shallow, yet their determination is fierce. They do not despair at their fragility. They do not resent the storms that bend them low. Instead, they trust in a future they cannot yet see, anchoring themselves deeper into the soil with every passing day. Watching them, I am reminded that real strength is almost never visible. It grows underground. It builds quietly, where no eyes can witness, until one day it breaks through into the sun, undeniable and unstoppable. The lavender patch hums with life, bees moving from bloom to bloom, drunk on the sweet nectar of purple crowns. These flowers, vibrant and fragrant, were once no more than seeds, scattered by uncertain hands months ago. They have endured the harshness of wind, the thirst of dry days, the weight of unexpected storms. They did not demand perfect conditions. They simply adapted, adjusted, survived. Walking among them, I feel a deep reverence for their resilience. I wonder how many times in my own life I have given up too soon, mistaking slow growth for failure, forgetting that everything worth growing demands patience. Past the lavenders, the tomatoes are blossoming. Tiny yellow flowers, humble and almost invisible against the green, promise the coming harvest. There is a sweetness in seeing these small beginnings, a hope that rises quietly in the chest, a trust that the unseen work beneath the surface is bearing fruit. No one applauds the roots digging deeper into the earth. No one celebrates the slow formation of a bud. But the garden reminds me that all true success begins in silence, nurtured far from the crowds, away from praise or recognition. At the heart of the garden stands the old pear tree. Its bark is gnarled, split in places from decades of weathering sun, rain, and frost. Its branches are heavy, drooping slightly under their own history. Yet every spring it blooms anew, offering its fruit generously, asking nothing in return. I run my hand along the rough texture of its trunk and lean against its strength, feeling the hum of life still coursing through it. This tree has seen seasons of abundance and seasons of scarcity. It has known drought and flood, heat and cold. Yet it remains rooted and resolute, bearing silent witness to the passage of time. Sitting beneath it, I think about how scars do not make us weaker. They do not lessen our value. If anything, they deepen our beauty, etching into us the story of survival, of growth beyond adversity. The grass is wet with morning dew as I walk further, each blade shimmering like it has been dipped in liquid silver. Every step sinks slightly into the soft ground, reminding me of the weight of my own existence. How often we forget the impact we have with every choice, every action, every footprint we leave behind. In the garden, nothing is without consequence. Every cut branch, every poured drop of water, every shifted stone changes the story of this place. And so too in life. Every word, every silence, every kindness, every cruelty, they ripple outward, unseen perhaps, but undeniably shaping the worlds of others. In an older corner of the garden, I find the basil plants planted last autumn. Some stand tall, defiant against the approaching end of their season. Others have withered, their leaves curled into dry fists. I kneel beside them, pruning gently, not with sadness, but with gratitude. Even the plants that have passed offered their fragrance, their life, their energy to this patch of earth. Here, death is not a tragedy, but a transformation. Nothing in nature is wasted. The fallen leaves feed the soil. The broken stems shelter new shoots. In this cycle, loss is simply another name for change, for continuation, for rebirth. The stone path I have been building stretches a little farther today. Each stone placed is a small act of hope, a belief that someday others might walk this way, that their feet will find ease because of the work I did quietly, without applause. Bent over the stones, sweat dampening my brow, I find a strange happiness. There is no glory in this labor, but there is deep satisfaction. Perhaps this is the truest kind of creation. Not the building of monuments to be admired, but the laying down of stones that will guide and support, quietly and faithfully, long after I am gone. As the day wears on, the garden shifts in color. The bright greens of morning soften into the deeper hues of afternoon. Shadows stretch lazily across the paths. The sun, once fierce, now drapes its light gently over the leaves, as if tucking them in for a brief, golden rest. In this changing light, the garden feels more alive, more breathing. I sit on an old wooden bench, worn smooth by years of use, and close my eyes. Around me, the world moves slowly. Bees buzz, leaves rustle, the earth hums. It is a symphony without a conductor, a song without an audience, a life unfolding for its own sake. How rare, I think, to find a place that demands nothing from you but your presence. How rare to be somewhere that does not measure you by your productivity, your efficiency, your achievements. In the garden, you are enough simply because you are. You belong because you exist. And maybe, just maybe, that is all life ever asked of us, to show up fully, quietly, honestly, and to live, really live, in the spaces between ambition and expectation. The evening draws near. The golden hour deepens into a rich, burning amber. The trees cast long, reaching shadows across the ground, and the sky becomes a painting in motion, pinks melting into purples, blues dissolving into deep indigos. The first stars wink open their ancient eyes, and the garden settles into a slower, dreamier rhythm. I stay a little longer, reluctant to leave this space where time is so generous, where silence speaks louder than any words. Tomorrow I will return. I will water the thirsty, tend the struggling, prune the wayward. I will kneel in the dirt, letting it stain my skin, grounding me once more in the reality of my own smallness and significance at the same time. Tomorrow, like today, and like every day before, the garden will open its arms in silent welcome. It will not care what burdens I bring. It will not judge the heaviness in my heart. It will simply offer its endless, patient companionship. And I will accept, grateful beyond words. Because here, in this patch of earth, I remember truths too often forgotten in the noise of the world. That patience is not passive. It is fierce. It is active waiting, steadfast believing, stubborn hoping. That growth cannot be forced, only fostered. That real beauty is not flawless. It is weathered, scarred, and still standing. In the garden, I see mirrored my own cycles of breaking and healing, striving and surrendering, dreaming and doubting. And in the simple acts of watering, weeding, planting, and harvesting, I am reborn, piece by piece, season by season. No one may see the work. No one may celebrate the progress. But that is not why I come. I come because the work itself changes me. I come because tending life, even in its smallest forms, is an act of profound faith. Standing in the deepening twilight, the garden slowly fading into silhouette, I feel a deep, steady joy settle into my bones. Not the fleeting excitement of achievement, but the rooted, timeless joy of simply being part of something larger than myself. I am not the creator here. I am the steward, I am not the master. I am the student. And the lessons, in patience, in resilience, in humility, are endless. So I return each day, not because I must, but because I am called by the silent music of the growing things, by the whispered wisdom of the soil, by the ancient wordless prayers of water meeting root, of leaf meeting sun, of seed meeting earth. I return because somewhere in the tending of this garden I am also tending to myself, and that, perhaps, is the most sacred work of all.